Also, I would like to introduce another guest, Patrick Lancaster, who's a war reporter joining us from Rostov in Russia. Patrick, thank you very much for joining us on the program. Tensions have severely heightened here in India, particularly in the Jammu and Kashmir region and along the western border between Pakistan and India. Looking in at this conflict, Patrick, what do you think of it? Should people, given your experience and your expertise on the field reporting on wars, do you think that people have the right to be concerned?
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me. It's nice to be on again. Yeah, of course, it's always hard when civilians get stuck in the middle of these conflict. As you said, I've been covering the conflicts here between Russia and Ukraine for many years, and I see the effect on the civilian populations, really on both sides of these conflicts. But of course, in this instance in particular, targeting tourists the magnitude that they were targeted is just completely unacceptable. And basically, Pakistan threatening Armageddon if their existence is threatened is also, I believe, unacceptable. So hopefully, as the previous guest says, this does not escalate because the current situation of both countries and how they are equipped, of course, could escalate into a really bad situation. But I'm hoping to actually be covering the situation near the contact line myself, and going to be bringing my viewers some of the information that I'm able to find out on the developing situation itself. But we can all hope that things do calm down at this point.
Yes, thank you. And we are also joined by Jim Rice, Professor of International Law, located in Vigan, the Philippines, to discuss this in more detail with him. Jim, I just want to get your perspective looking in from the outside. Obviously, you are based in the Philippines. Your insight on India's response and Pakistan's response and the ongoing tensions in the region of South Asia, and particularly in the region of Kashmir, in the territory. What are your thoughts?
Well, again, all of this is regrettable, especially the initial attack on the 20th of April, and the other.
I'm very sorry, Jim Rice. We seem to have some connection issues. We have some breaking news coming in, however. India's Ministry of Defence has issued a strict advisory to media outlets and individuals, urging them not to live stream or report real-time movements of security forces during operations, citing national security and past incidents like Kargil and 26/11 and the Kandahar hijacking. Officials warn such coverage may compromise missions and lives. Only official briefings will be allowed under amended cable TV rules. Patrick, I want to come to you on this breaking. Obviously, the warfare isn't obviously just done on the battlefield. However, it can be a war of words and a war of reputations. We've seen conflicting statements from both sides in this war, claims being thrown about on each side. This is something that you can resonate with, I assume. How important is public perception, international perception, and image and media outlets during times like this of heightened tensions?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely very important to get information out in a timely manner. But as that warning says, journalists need to be responsible in how they report, so they do not affect the on the ground actual fighting, as far as giving targeting information to another side of any conflict, not just this one, because it can really end people's lives, both soldiers and civilians. So journalists do have a responsibility to be diligent on how they report, what information they report, not to censor themselves, but to not put lives at risks. And of course, journalists don't tend to have the ability to be reporting on both sides. So the overall picture that people need to get is from multiple sources. I tell all my viewers always, don't just watch my reports. I don't have all the information. Watch reports on both sides of every contact line. Get as much information from as many different sources as possible to educate yourself. And that's what people need to do, because not one source has all the information. Everybody's just doing their little piece of the pie. And people need to do their own due diligence to get information themselves.
Yes. I want to come to you next.